What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark, MacMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and it's another week. So we have another episode. This is season 1, episode 4 of Treasure Planet. Skeleton Crew. This episode was directed by the Daniels. The Daniels. This show has attracted so much talent to it. It's ridiculous at this point. It's just the directors of these episodes are insane. It's just insane. So the Daniels came in for this episode. But the problem is, and the thing that I always have with TV direction is there's still sort of a general vibe. So even though the Daniels are here, I didn't feel the Daniels here, which is kind of a letdown because the Daniels have a very distinct style to them. And I don't feel like this episode really supported it. I don't feel like, I was like, why are they here? Like anyone could have made this hour of television. But half hour or whatever, however, these episodes are actually pretty short. Um, so I've attacked Skeleton Crew trying to pretend it's not in the Star Wars universe and just pretending it's Goonies in space, because Goonies in space is interesting to me. I'm acutely aware. I made the reference last time and somebody shouted out in the comments. They're like, oh my God, I didn't notice that until now. They're making heavy Treasure Island references, which is why I made the Treasure Planet reference. This is basically the live action Treasure Planet movie we'll never get. So, if you remember the last episode, when somebody knew, Job, whatever his name is, um, when he walked in to get the droid, somebody called him Captain Silver, like Long John Silver, like how his Job is really close to John. I mean, they're really not stretching that far here. This is not the most original thing you've ever seen in your entire life. So, but it is entertaining, and I think the kids are really good. So, Jude Law's not bad. I like Jude Law. They land on a planet. Basically, this is a really quick episode to explain. They end up crash landing on what they thought was Ad-Aden. It's not. It's another planet. It's like Ad-Aden, but obviously got messed up at somewhere along the way and is now this post-apocalyptic Furiosa world, where there are clans, and the kids get brought into this one clan and they start training. Meanwhile, Jode and the robot are off doing other stuff, but the kids sort of learn from this clan and what life could be like, and the main girl of the clan who interacts with them the most learns what their life was like on their planet. They learn from each other, and they eventually, there's word of this place that they can go where they can get information. Jude Law comes back in and he finds these animals that they had lost, that this warring clan on this planet had taken, and he returns them so he can get the kids back. And they go to this place and they find that it does have all these star charts and maps, but that somebody specifically destroyed the one to Ad-Aden. And the captain, the little girl that's the captain, realizes that the robot that's been walking around the whole time saying, like, Ad-Aden, I can't say I've ever heard of Ad-Aden, realizes that his repetitive response to everything may be a programmed response. So she deprograms him and orders him. She thinks that the previous captain ordered him to not say anything about Ad-Aden, because for a second there, the robot remembers that he was the one who blasted the map off the wall. So she tries to overwrite what the previous captain did, but when she does, I guess the previous captain was so smart that he had a thing for the overwrite, which triggers like a kill switch inside this robot. So he starts talking about how he wants to rip them limb from limb. Jude Law jumps in, flips the off switch. And um, and they're kind of left with, well, with a robot they can't use anymore because it's now in kill mode, uh, and without a map to add in, and kind of stranded on this planet and thinking about how they're going to get off the planet. And we'll see in the next episode if they do. So that's the shortest possible point A to point B that I can get on Skeleton Crew. Um, I'm still trying to enjoy the show. I'm not trying to bash on the show at all, because I think my general thought is that this show would work as a standalone show. I think there's something here. I think this is clearly appealing to kids. It doesn't even make me that mad. They're clearly trying to do something else with Skeleton Crew creatively, which is great for once. I just wish it didn't feel like it was going to tie in at all to the Skywalker saga. Like, I feel like for some reason this lands somewhere. I've heard somebody else talk about where it is in the timeline. Like, they've already figured it out. Like, they're like, oh, well, this takes place, I think, like, before Andor or something like that. Um, so I kind of wish that it was just like this standalone thing. It's like how they're talking about with these DC elsewhere world things, how they're not really part of the DCEU, or the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You know, they use their uh, multiverses to explore things like the upcoming Marvel Zombies thing that they're working on. So it's, you can have these cool concepts, I guess, if there's a way that you can make it feel like. Uh, I'm glad that we had that sort of reveal in the last episode that Jude Law is not a Jedi, so we can stop talking about it and maybe we can get away from it and get around it. This episode didn't mention the Jedi, didn't mention the Force. You know, we got we got away from some things, so it's easier for me to enjoy it as just like a space adventure with kids that has treasure in it and pirates and feels like the Goonies. You know, I think that's fun. And Disney needs more shows that are not branded. Um, so yeah, this was okay. I was a little disappointed when I found out that Daniels directed it, and I was like, well, that didn't feel like the Daniels at all. Did that feel like the director of Swiss Army Men or Everything Everywhere All at Once? No. Not at all. It's like, what did they bring to the show? If anything, it shows that the Daniels can direct regular things, like that they don't need all the extra flair and everything that they've started to develop in their style, that they can just drop it all back, you know, and jump into the fourth episode of Skeleton Crew. So, uh, anyway, that's it. I'm gonna give Skeleton Crew this week a B plus. I like the show. I like where it's going, but I don't know. You know, I don't know. That's it's. Let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, I will see you next week and see you on the other side.